On the quiet pastures of Shadow Valley Deer Farm, a pure white doe named Lacey lay down in the grass, ready to give birth. But the staff watching her knew something the cameras hadn't caught yet. And within hours, what happened in that field would defy odds of 1 in 30,000. Lacey was no ordinary deer. Every inch of her body was snow white, her skin visible pink beneath fur that held not a single trace of pigment. She was an albino white-tailed deer, one of a small, carefully protected herd at Shadow Valley. In the wild, a coat like hers would be a death sentence, a glowing target against green forest, impossible to hide from wolves, coyotes, or hunters. But here behind the fences of the ranch, Lacey didn't need to hide. She was safe, she was loved, and she had earned that love the hard way. Lacey lost her mother when she was barely more than a fawn herself, orphaned and sick. She should have faded quietly, the way so many fragile albino animals do. But one family among the ranch staff, known simply as the Bee family, refused to let that happen. They took her in, they bottle-fed her through the night, nursed her through illness, and stayed by her side through every setback. Slowly, impossibly, Lacey grew strong, and in that process, something rare formed between a wild animal and the humans who saved her. Trust, real, deep, unshakable trust. So when Lacey began grooming herself obsessively, licking at her sides in long, careful strokes, the Bee family noticed immediately. Weeks later, a gentle swell appeared in her belly. Word spread across the ranch. Lacey was pregnant. After everything she'd survived, she was going to be a mother. But the story did not go smoothly, not at first. Lacey's first pregnancy ended in heartbreak. Partway through, she lost the fetus and her own health collapsed along with it. The staff who had fought so hard to save her once now feared they might lose her all over again. For a deer who had already beaten the odds just by surviving infancy, this felt like a cruel repeat of history. Another fragile life, slipping away before it had a chance to begin. And yet, against everything stacked against her, Lacey conceived again. This time, the Bee family wasn't taking any chances. They set up cameras around her enclosure and kept watch, day and night, refusing to miss a single moment. When labor finally began, it was slow and grueling. Deer births, much like human ones, can stretch on for hours, filled with pain and uncertainty. Through the night, Lacey labored. The family stayed close, watching, waiting, hoping. By morning, exhaustion hung heavy in the air. And then, the first fawn arrived. A healthy little calf with a soft brown coat, the ordinary, expected color for a white-tailed deer. Relief swept through the watching family. It was over. Lacey had done it. She was a mother. They put the camera down. That single decision, born from simple human exhaustion and joy, was about to make them miss one of the most extraordinary moments any of them would ever witness. Because Lacey wasn't finished. While the family celebrated, something began happening again beneath Lacey's tail. She wasn't resting. She was still in labor. A second fawn was on its way, and nobody was filming. In those first fragile minutes, before anyone realized what was unfolding, something beautiful happened on its own. The newborn brown fawn, still wet and wobbly, turned toward its mother's side with pure instinctive curiosity. It nuzzled close, sniffing, licking gently at the spot where its sibling was emerging. This is one of nature's quiet miracles, a bond forming before a creature even fully understands what a sibling is. Before the second fawn had taken its first breath, its brother was already welcoming it. Then, a tiny leg appeared. A few seconds later, the rest followed, and the world seemed to pause. This second fawn was not brown. It was pure white, snow white, from its delicate hooves to the tips of its ears, with that same telltale pink-toned skin showing faintly beneath translucent fur. It was, unmistakably, the spitting image of its mother. Lacey had given birth to twins, one brown, one a perfect albino, just like her. For a moment, picture the scene. Lacey, exhausted from hours of labor, immediately turned her attention to her newborns. She began licking the brown fawn clean, grooming it with slow, tender strokes, while at the same time gently welcoming the small white form beside it. Two completely different-looking babies, born minutes apart, both hers, both cradled in the same instinctive maternal care. The staff, realizing what they were looking at, could hardly process it. An albino birth alone is staggeringly rare, By some estimates, only 1 in 10 to 30,000 fawns is born with this condition. For Lacey, an albino herself, to pass that trait on to one of her twins was already remarkable. But for there to be twins at all, when white-tailed deer almost always give birth to a single fawn, and for one of those two to inherit her exact coloring, the odds were almost incomprehensible. It wasn't just a birth, it was a genetic echo, a piece of Lacey reborn in her own child, carried forward into the next generation. And there was something deeply poetic about it too. Lacey herself had once been the fragile white outlier, too visible for the wild, too vulnerable to survive without help. Now she was the mother, gently grooming a fragile white outlier of her own, in the very same safe pasture that had once saved her life. In the days that followed, the story of Lacey's twins spread far beyond the ranch. Shadow Valley shared the footage online, and people from all over the world watched in amazement, comparing it to other rare sightings, like the ghostly white deer occasionally spotted in the forests of Wisconsin, or the lone albino doe once reported in California, each one a 1 in 30,000 wonder. But Lacey's story stood apart. She wasn't just a rare animal glimpsed from a distance. She was a survivor, a mother, and now the carrier of a genetic legacy that researchers hope to study and protect for years to come. For the staff, and especially for the Bee family who had raised her from a sick orphan fawn into a healthy, thriving mother, the moment meant something even deeper than genetics. It was proof that the care they'd poured into Lacey all those years ago hadn't just saved one life. It had rippled forward, becoming 2 new lives, full of possibility. Today, Lacey watches over her twins in the pastures of Shadow Valley, one brown, blending naturally into the world around him, and one pure white, just like his mother, glowing softly against the green grass, safe behind the fences that protect them both. Side by side, the 2 fawns are growing up together, bonded from their very first moments of life, each one a living reminder that being different isn't a flaw to overcome. Sometimes it's simply something rare and beautiful, waiting to be cherished. And for Lacey, the orphan who became a mother, the fragile calf who became a survivor, this was perhaps her greatest triumph of all, passing on not just her striking white coat, but the quiet strength and resilience that had carried her through every hardship into a new generation ready to carry it forward.